ago, went up to her office, and she said, you know, Rob, this is what I think it is. I think that the reason they push these vaccines, especially on these young kids, is so they become lifelong customers, because they're going to see these other problems crop up. They may not have a serious adverse reaction, but they'll get something like allergies, or they'll get earaches, or they'll get tonsillitis, something that keeps them coming back for more medical care.
Over 100 years ago, eugenicist social planners said that they'd use mind-altering drugs to control the population. By 2007, more than 20% of the U.S. population were on some type of prescription antidepressant. But in the case of foster children, a sector where the state has total control, at least 2/3 are forced to take a cocktail made up of, on average, 7 psychotropic drugs. Chairman of the Texas Society of Psychiatric Physicians, Joe Burkett, testified before the State House Select Committee hearing on psychotropic drugs in foster care and shocked the public when he said that 2/3 of foster children in Texas had been placed on psychiatric drugs because they were very, very sick from a bad gene pool.
A lot of these kids come from bad gene pools. They don't have stable parents making good decisions. Besides the gene pools, they've then been traumatized by abuse, neglect, and problems, and then they've been traumatized by separation, and all those things predispose to mental illness.
One thing that I really like and I'm amazed by when I put out these vaccine reports is the number of people that get on the message board and actually add other clues and links to things that other people can read. Because I don't have time to put it all in one report. There's just not enough time in the day. So I really do appreciate when people put their links down there, and let's have a debate. I'm all for an open, honest debate. You know, a lot of people sent this Penn and Teller thing where they had them throwing bowling balls at little targets made up of children, and the ones that were vaccinated were protected from the bowling balls and the other ones weren't, so they were getting mowed down. And a lot of the statistics that they're reporting, yeah, all these diseases were coming down, but they were coming down before the vaccines were ever introduced. They never show the beginning of these graphs, like when you see polio coming down to here and then the vaccine's introduced and it drops down to here. It was already on its way out. That's because of modern hygiene techniques, modern plumbing, people not sleeping in their clothes over and over again days on end. It's a whole lot of things that caused these diseases to go down. So let's end here with this one article from Vac Truth that I encourage you to go and look at the other source articles that they put in here, because it's amazing. Studies prove without a doubt that unvaccinated children are far healthier than their vaccinated peers. A 1992 Immunization Awareness Study, IAS, conducted a survey to examine the health of New Zealand's children. Unsurprisingly, the results of their study indicate that unvaccinated children were far healthier than vaccinated children. So they interviewed about 245 families, nearly 500 children participated in this survey. Here's what they found. 92% of the children requiring tonsillectomy operation had received the measles vaccination, indicating that vaccination for measles may have made some of the children susceptible to tonsillitis. But then it goes into another study that was even more in-depth back in 2011 in Germany. In September 2011, German researchers carried out a long-range study, surveyed a total of 8,000 unvaccinated children from the ages of 0 to 19. So the kids that were vaccinated, 4.7 suffered from asthma percent, 10.7 suffered from hay fever, 13.2 suffered from neurodermatitis. With the unvaccinated children, you had asthma at 2.5%, hay fever at 3%, and neurodermatitis at 7%. Nearly half compared to the vaccinated children. And these aren't big health conditions, but these are things that determine quality of life.
I wonder if the CDC has conducted or facilitated a study comparing vaccinated children with unvaccinated children yet. Have you done that?
We have not studied vaccinated versus unvaccinated.
Oh, that was, okay,
actually,
never mind. So just stop there. That was the meaning of my question. You wasted 2 minutes of my time.
Now look at this. Other conditions found to be almost non-existent in unvaccinated children. With dyslexia, it was 0.21%. Speech delay or articulation problems, 0.38%. Sensory processing disorder, 0.28%. Anxiety, 0.25%. Depression, 0.12%. Bedwetting, 0.12%. Celiac disease, 0.12%. Gluten sensitivity, 0.41%. And GERD, 0.06%. I want to leave you with this last from the CDC. This is on their own website, and this is talking about identified prevalence of autism spectrum disorder. In 2000 in the United States, we were 1 in 150. And now in 2010, well, now we're 5 years later, so I bet it's even worse, it was 1 in 68.
Let's stop right there. The full report is on Infowars.com right now. Get it out, warn people. Same thing at Infowars.com. Facebook blocks images of Muhammad. Social media giant buckles the pressure from Turkish government. And that's a good article by Nemo, but maybe, we probably want to add to this that Zuckerberg, you know, claims he's for free speech, but he also calls us users dumb effers for trusting him. You dumb effers, you trust me with your info. See, they enjoy, like, Gruber laughing at their prisoners. See, hardcore criminals, most of them don't do it to survive. If some starving family gets caught breaking into a store to get food, how are you going to even charge them with something? They're starving in some third world country. But the big crimes, why does a bank robber sometimes just shoot the clerk when they leave or shoot a liquor store clerk after they've given you the cash? Because they're scum. Well, the successful criminals, their modus operandi, their mindset, their profile is basically the same. They don't enjoy being honorable. They enjoy cheating people. And that's the type of folks you see at Davos and at Bilderberg that this twit's been to both of them. With his little Harvard front company, he's a total front. I mean, Facebook's admittedly CIA, just like Google. It is truly disgusting with its pump and dump and the rest of it. Now, let's continue, because this ties into that. U.S. watchdog urges safeguards for Internet of Things and says that, oh, my gosh, all these chips built into everything means it can be hacked and taken over. Yeah, because it's meant to be taken over by the smart meters and government hubs and Google cars. Oh, so now they need more surveillance to stop people getting into all your systems. Meanwhile, that ties into this. UK government announces plan to remotely control vehicles. Remember that story yesterday? And I actually went yesterday and again today, because even I can't believe how bold they are moving this quick. In this article, UK government announces plan. You go to the government website. People say, what's your source on this? In fact, in the comments, they're like, come on, I want to see a source. This is unbelievable. I mean, what does he mean? They're putting up antennas all over England. Same thing's going in here. Same global plan to, quote, reduce greenhouse gases, where during peak emission times or traffic, the cars will be taken over and wirelessly speed, engine, all of it will be controlled. Can you imagine how dangerous this is? Talk about robot cars, Google taking over. They're going to turn your car into a robot car. Let me stop you. Do you think they just magically hack into systems? No, you're paying in the price of the car. I saw one estimate as much as $10,000. Because the more luxurious, the more of this there is. Inexpensive cars, as much as $5,000 in the cost. Be nice to lower a car about $5,000, wouldn't it? Is all the spy tech. This is from the government website in the UK. M2M sensors in cars and on roads monitor the buildup of congestion. And just magically, this has been put in all the cars worldwide now. It's all a big accident. There's no conspiracy. Well, it doesn't matter. It's here. See, folks. Told you 15 years ago. I keep saying 15 years ago. Actually, I was talking about this by 97. So told you 18 years ago. M2M sensors in cars, because it was on MIT Magazine. I didn't just make it up. See, it wasn't that I broke something big. This whole nightmare plan, from cancer viruses and the vaccines to kill you and your family, are public. And we were winning. Vaccination was going way down until about 5 years ago. They redoubled their funding, more than doubled the funding in brainwashing, and now it's at all-time highs. The public just doesn't like to be bullied. They just submit to it. M2M sensors in cars on roads monitor the buildup of congestion and wirelessly send this information to traffic control system, which automatically impose variable speed limits that smooth the flow of traffic, states OFCOM. This system can also communicate directly with cars. Directing them along diverted routes, which will surveil you, didn't follow your order, to avoid the congestion, even managing their speed. Did you hear that? Because you read deeper, it's going to control your speed. A remote governor. M2M sensors could also be attached to the mechanical parts of your car, such as ABS wheel rotation, sensors to measure speed. This information can be wirelessly communicated to nearby cars, which onboard computers that process and react to this information. So all the cars connected together. And Nissan's coming out. I told you, Japan's leading the way along with the Germans. It's